afternoon or evening or whatever time you're watching this. I wanted to take an opportunity to discuss just a couple of things about Christian life. I wanted to, those of you who are fellow Christians, I wanted to take an opportunity to encourage you in your walk with Christ, and in particular, just encourage you to witness and talk to people about God, and discuss a couple of the issues that might arise in your attempts to witness to people about Christ. So you might find that if you approach somebody and you broach the topic of Christianity with them, they might say something like, "Oh, stop it with the God talk. Religion is exactly what is wrong with the world." That's not true. They might say something like, "Oh, well, look at all those people who bomb things and they say they're doing it in the name of God." Okay, yes, there are people who do these crazy things and they say they're doing it in the name of God. But even back in the times that the Bible was set in, there were people who did, terrible things and said they were doing it in the name of God. But they're not, obviously. So just tell them, hey, look at Matthew 7:16. It tells us that you should know them by their fruits. And the Bible tells us what the fruits of the Spirit are. And they're basically humility, kindness, generosity, meekness, being forgiving, and not repaying evil for evil. So if people are not doing those things and they say, "Oh, well, I need to go bomb a building in the name of God," or go after anything that's violent in nature, they're definitely not doing the name of God. So there's no question about that, and that's an easy one. So if somebody says that, you tell them, no, the Bible tells us that the fruits of the Spirit are good, and share with them what the fruits of the Spirit are, and that those people don't represent that. And even if they say they're acting in the name of God, they're really not. So there's that. And another thing that might happen if you try to, talk to people about God is they might say something like, "Oh, why do I have to listen to you tell me about God? What's so perfect about you?" And you tell them, really nothing. Nothing's perfect about me. The Bible indicts everybody as a sinner. It says that all have sinned and fall short of the glory of the Lord. And just look at Romans, I can't forget which chapter, but, it discusses that. But it doesn't matter because the Bible also says that the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few, which means that God has work for all of us to do, and God is excited and ready to use us in his kingdom, and he's not waiting for us to be perfect. He knows we're imperfect. He made us imperfect. If he needed humans to be perfect, he would have made them to be perfect and not to need God. So he made us to need him. So we're kind of stuck with that, and it's not unique. Everybody's imperfect. So you're in luck. You won the lottery. Everybody's imperfect, and everybody can use God's salvation. So just go ahead and take it and grab it, and and let God mold your life into what he can do, the highest potential that it can be, which is through him. There's no doubt about that. You can't be as great as you could be in God. You just can't. I don't care, if, who you are. So, and that's just the way it is. So just, don't be afraid of the idea that you have to be great to go to God. No, you become great by going to God, Anyway, so that's the way to handle that. If someone says, "Oh, you're not so great anyway," say, "Well, you're right, I'm not, but, God is doing some stuff in me, and hopefully if you turn to him, he will do great stuff in your life too." And at the end of the day, you're not really responsible for turning people into Christians. You're just responsible for kind of opening them up and encouraging them to pray and, to seek God for themselves and to pursue it for themselves. That's it. You're not really going to transform their life. You have your own life and your own problems to pursue. So, and just think about the heroes of the Bible. None of them were perfect. Paul was not. Look at Rahab. She was a prostitute. And look at David. He did many things that did not sit well with God. I mean, just because God loved him and God called him did not mean he endorsed everything he did. There were some things that King David did in the Bible that God did not endorse, and he had a hard time with them. And there was a lot of disciplining of David going on in the Bible because he just did some things that like taking another man's wife and then killing the guy so he could keep this guy. That did not sit well with God, obviously. So God did not require perfection of him in order to use him. And he doesn't require perfection of you in order to use you. He'll take you and mold you and prune you and discipline you sometimes. But and that's the walk, and it's a great walk. It's more exciting than any other life that you could live, quite frankly. All right, thanks.